Hi Glitter Angels, it's Vivian J and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, it is going to be a 2024 New Year's goals and hopes. So you follow me to talking about not just personal goals, but also goals I have set for content, videos, wellness, motivation, all those things. Yeah, it's super fun. I have done these videos probably a few times. So you might have seen my other New Year's resolution one. I don't call them resolutions, but I call them goals anyway. So if you haven't seen those videos yet, you should definitely check them out. They'll be linked in the description below. So without further ado, how about we go ahead and get started? So I have my goals and hopes written on my phone. The first thing I have for myself is to be more organized. And that's because most of the time, either my bedroom or my desk can be pretty cluttered a lot, and I'm like, girl, you gotta fix that. Well, it's not so much like keeping it clean as a problem, but it's like keeping things in a certain order. That's one of the things I still struggle with today, but we're gonna fix that. And then for the second goal is to develop more creative video ideas, and not just for video ideas, but it could also be for films. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely that person that just wants to write out every single idea I have. But at times, when I'm given a time limit or when there's a time constraint, there come moments where I'm like, okay, I would have to pick either this idea, that idea, or either the top three choices. But it's hard. I'll tell you that. It's hard. Another reason why I'm thinking of developing more creative video ideas and for films, well, that's because I'm sure. Remember those collab that I've put up? I'm sure a lot of you might have been confused about it. Maybe some of you might have got it, while some others might not have gotten it. But it's okay. We're making progress. We're making progress. I'm definitely going to try my best to simplify and explain what to expect without having it like a whole lot of words put into it, if that makes sense. And then for the third goal is to wake up easily and be a morning person. And here's why. Because here in Chicago, it's pretty cold and it's winter at this point. My seasonal anxiety likes to hit me more. And when I say that, I mean, well, sometimes on days where it's all like gloomy and not very sunny out, it just makes you not want to get out of bed for some reason. Like, I'm that kind of person that just wants to like sleep in for an extra hour, but hopefully that makes sense. And what I like to do to get myself to be a morning person is to like charge my phone and put it at least a little farther on my nightstand, so that when it goes off, it would force me to get out of bed, like physically out of bed. So I've done that in my dorm room a bunch of times and it works. So like it's like that motivation to make me get out of bed, but sometimes in that case is where it may not work. I just want to go back to bed, but in that case, I'm gonna force myself to just get up as soon as my alarm goes off and start my day, just like that. So the fourth goal I have for myself is to take feedback well and not worry too much on the negative. And here's another reason why. I'm still struggling with getting feedback. Like, my brain just automatically just can't take it, so I need to fix that. That's one reason. And second, often my brain tends to shift, like, whenever there's like a slight mistake, I tend to go crazy about it. And I don't know why, but it's like a whole perfectionism thing. That's a whole nother story. But my brain tends to automatically like, oh shoot, you already failed, or you didn't do good enough. You said you could do well on this. Why did you not do well on it? Like, it just like automatically switches to like, oh god, I failed. I'm gonna change my mindset to, girl, you gave your best today, and that's what matters. Honestly, my professor, she is a wonderful lady. She's the reason why she's been such a great help to dealing with those feedback and comments, even if they're not fun. But she has been such a good help. And she told me this: focus on the process, not the outcome. And it's not just in film, but also a daily life thing, if that makes sense. So now for goal number 5, it is to complete an internship, which is essentially crucial, especially since I'm a junior about to be a senior. Yikes. At least I have to do some kind of internship that I don't mind doing for at least close to 3 months, at least for the summer. It would at least be beneficial to understand what it's like interning at some kind of job in applying to what I really want to pursue as a film major, if that makes sense. Definitely I'm gonna just keep on doing what I'm doing in terms of looking for possible opportunities, and hopefully I could just make them work and manifest for the best moments to come. Because I can't be dwelling on negative too much. It just doesn't work. And for goal number 6, it is to get at least 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep. I know in general people say like, oh, adults need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep, which is true, but sometimes 9 hours can be a little too much. So I'm like, why don't I do between 7.5 to 8? That's a good amount of sleep. Because, I mean, sure, if I'm feeling a little naps are fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking naps, right? But I just try myself to be awake throughout the entire day and just try to go on. Like, just keep pushing through. See what I can do. In order to achieve that goal, I'm definitely going to be aiming to get to bed at least before 11:30 p.m., like how I've always been trying to do. Now for goal number 7 is to stay active and more self-care, because the past year I've been sort of kind of struggling with making time for self-care because of how busy I've been, even as a junior. Like, basically, there were times where I just couldn't do some self-care at all, and I'm manifesting that I could at least do a face mask, or at least a stretch, like, after I first wake up, that sort of thing. Then maybe that should help change my life, at least just a little bit. And of course, over the fall semester, I've barely had time to go to the gym, so I mean, I went to a few fitness classes, but I certainly would love to keep up with my active fitness routine. So for goal number 8 is to create more dances for films. And a lot of you are like, Viv, haven't you created a choreo for one of the films you made? Well, yes I did, but certainly I would love to be in charge of any huge project that has to do with choreography, like at least help people come up with a dance. Like, I had an idea that unfortunately did not work out, but I really wanted that to happen, but it didn't. And by choreography, I mean I could be doing at least contemporary or jazz or hip-hop, but of course I will have to adjust accordingly in case if there are any beginners in my film, if that makes sense. So, yep, we're gonna go for that. And then for goal number 9 is to do more photo shoots. Well, here's the reason why. Doing more photo shoots could at least be a good help to not just who I am, but also making people step outside their comfort zones and get over the film nerves. Oh, which I'll get into in terms of talking about hopes and wanting to accomplish. But yeah, I really would love to do more photo shoots because sometimes, like, either I'm not in the mood to do it, but a part of me is like, girl, go for it. Why don't you just get it going again? So we're gonna aim for that for sure. Goal number 10 is to come up with more concepts for collabs, which kind of relates to goal number 2, but slightly different. And here's why. Again, you might have seen those collabs happen across my channel before, but I certainly would love to develop more concepts because A, it brings people together. Like, I could be bringing my friends in my vlogs. And second, it's a good way to at least provide a time spending with the people that make me happy, and for ways I make people happy. So it's kind of like you both get what we want. It's like I make people happy and they make me happy, so it's a good balance between the two. That's pretty much my goals, like my top 10 goals for 2024. And now we're gonna get on to hopes and what we want to accomplish for this year. And this could apply to anything. It doesn't really matter if it's related to fitness, motivation, who I am as a person, and all that stuff. So now we're going to talk about goals and what we want to accomplish for 2024. So we're going to start off with the first one, which is conducting workshops. And it doesn't matter what kind. It could be about getting over film nerves or dance workshops, because years and years back I was that person who doesn't really want to teach anything and she didn't see herself teaching. But eventually, as time went by, part of me was like, well, do you have at least some idea in mind of what you would like to explain to people or teach people about? I often see myself as a coach / motivator type of person. I don't know, it's been a part of my dream since ever. So enough about that. Then for the second hope is being like vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it could be for one of the activities we have at my college. So by that, I mean, I often visualize myself in terms of helping international students get a chance to star in films or participate in any film project. The best part is that I give them strength and they give me strength. And what I mean by that is that whenever I give them an opportunity, they bring in what they can put on the table in terms of skills or what values they bring, all that stuff. It may seem complicated, but I promise to keep this short and simple. I'll probably do an extensive video on it, but whatever. Anyway, for the third hope is to keep up with food blogging, and here's why. Because I'm sure you might have come across my No Dairy, No Nuts diaries, which is basically the food page of my YouTube. That's basically where I document on things dairy-free, nut-free. It's kind of close to like a food review page, but it's not 100% a review page. It's more of like, well, a lot of people are curious on like, what do I do in terms of dealing with dairy and nut allergies? Like, what foods do I make from home, or what restaurants do I like to go to? All that stuff. And speaking of food reviewing, actually, we're actually thinking of doing more of those pretty soon for this year. So I don't want to give any spoilers on it, but you might see them soon. Now for hope number 4 is to contribute often in projects in terms of writing and public relations. Well, one of the reasons is that as of the spring semester, I'm actually planning on doing a screenwriting course, so that should be pretty interesting because I somehow got really, really into it since last semester. Interesting fact. It's something I don't share with people all the time, but it's true. I've somehow got into screenwriting. Well, probably because of my creative brain coming into play. And for public relations, it's because it at least gives a sense of what audiences generally like, and that's the crucial part of being a creator. So with the knowledge of public relations, you'll understand what people are interested in or what they care about or what means of value to them. Now remember this, everyone. When there is value in the subject, it's interesting. When there is value in the idea, it is also interesting. But if there's no value, it's boring. Now for the last wanting to accomplish is to utilize dreams and imagination and apply them to my ideas. Well, although most of my dreams are kept secret and they're often shared among family and sometimes with friends, at least a part of me was like, well, why don't you use one of your dreams that you've had, like the ones that you don't really share, but at least use it in some way in your idea. And for the second reason is because I know someone who's a vivid dreamer, and that would have to be one of the film professors. So yeah, she and I have that in common. So it's just deep down, it's something that you don't see until you finally notice it. That was definitely for me. Well, it's not just adding more creativity, but also helping with think outside of the box. And considering ways of taking your ideas to a whole nother level, if that makes sense. I know, I'm just that girl that just wants to take a lot of stuff on a whole nother level. Yeah, that's pretty much my goals and hopes for this year, and hopefully, I'm sure you might have understood them at this point, but if you still don't, that is totally okay, I understand. Hopefully this might give you some encouragement and some motivation to achieve your goals for this year. So this is editing Viv right now, about to put together this video. So the outro ended up not working out. I had to cut that off, so hopefully you found this video very interesting. Nothing too crazy, just explaining about goals and hopes for this year. I mean, do I have high expectations? Yes. A lot of you are like, girl, you do. You set yourself pretty much the highest of expectations. Yes. Well, that's because I manifest a lot of positive things to happen, and well, you know the good old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. What's on my mind for this year is to don't expect things to happen right away, because if it turns out that it'll have to be put on a wait, that is totally okay. As long as you're patient with it, you're good. So, keeping that in mind. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment the planner emoji, since we just talked about goals and what we would like for things to happen in 2024. And make sure you have the bell notifications turned on so that you're one of the first to catch up on my videos. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Okay, peace out. Bye! Mwah.